What's up, guys? We are back with another wave of Marvel Legends, one that I'm not getting into, not even 50% I don't think, but there are a few figures in this wave that I'm very much interested in, one of which would be the Thanos wave living laser figure. Translucent plastic's really doing it for me here. We've got him here in our standard Marvel Legends packaging. You can see him there in the window. We've got some artwork that runs down the spine, and then we've got that same artwork on the back instead of product shots this time around. And then we've got a little bit of a write-up along with the rundown for our wave, including the Build-A-Figure. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our living laser figure. One that I'm not really sure I ever could have imagined saying, you know what, I need one of those. But a hot pink translucent figure, I couldn't not have him. He's definitely doing something for me. There is one kind of odd thing that I'm going to get to about this figure shortly when we talk about his sculpt, but in a general sense, I think this guy's pretty cool. He definitely does have a couple issues just because of some of his design in general, but it's nothing too crazy. Certainly nothing we haven't seen in Legends before. So let's get started, take a look at articulation. The first thing we're going to talk about is the quote-unquote issue here, and that of course is going to sit at the head. So if you're familiar with like the Marvel Legends, the movie Ronin figure that they put out in their 10 years, he had a bit of an issue with his head and his shoulder armor where he couldn't really move in a normal way. It just didn't look right. So this figure kind of has a similar problem, but he doesn't really move well at all. So the head, it's this one piece, it sits on a ball hinge, so your standard Marvel Legends ball hinge, but it doesn't work. It's just too much. There's too much plastic there. The traps are kind of trapped by his headpiece here, so he can move about that far. And if you twist it hard enough, it'll go, but it does kind of look weird eventually. You'll see that things don't really line up, because this should be sitting over his traps, and it's just not anymore. But you can, maybe line of sight fudge it up a bit. Otherwise, though, you do have some motion, but he has no real up or down. It's just not going to go. Not really at all. A little bit of bobble, but that's about it. The arms go out. They swivel around. You've got your biceps, not your bicep, you got your butterfly joints, so backwards and forwards. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and then we've got rotating and hinging wrists. Ab crunch goes backwards, and it is painted in there. It goes forward all the way down. Waist twist, legs go out, forward, backward a little bit. You've got a thigh cut. You got double jointed knees. You've got your shin swivel, and then you've got hinges, rocker, and all that good stuff down to the ankles. So he is, pretty much what you'd expect to find, especially if you're familiar with this body. And, this is the Spider-Man 2099 body, the new Spider-Man 2099 body. And we'll talk about that specifically here in a second. The only real limiting factor on this guy is the head, and it's just the way it is. He has that weird helmet, mask, hood thing that sits over top of part of his chest and his head. So it is going to get in the way, and I'm not really sure Hasbro could have done too much to fix that. Now, as far as the sculpt, the paint, the look, I think for the most part this figure absolutely nails it. This is the figure that uses the Spider-Man 2099 body, so that newer style Spider-Man 2099 body. And I'm going to talk about the odd thing here right away, and I want someone to let me know if I'm wrong in this. I just can't find any reference for why he looks this way. So he has the exact same little fin things, the little spike things that pop out of Spider-Man 2099's arms. This figure is from the neck down the exact same figure. Everything is the same. And I'm really surprised to see these here, because I know we've got other figures that use this kind of body, but they don't come with these. The 3 3/4 inch living laser I don't think has these little guys on it either. So I'm not really sure. Someone let me know if this is just a design choice they made, because he is kind of made of pure energy basically. So it's not uncommon to think that he could do something like that, but I'm also not sure why. It's not really ruining the figure for me or even making me enjoy it less by any means. I just don't understand why they're there, outside of maybe a snafu on Hasbro's part or something. I just don't know. So someone let me know for sure down below, but otherwise, I mean, they certainly don't look bad. I'm fine with them. It's just kind of an oddity. I was surprised to see those there when I got him out of the box, because I just don't remember seeing them in pictures previously. So either I didn't notice or they weren't there. Otherwise, though, I mean, this figure is like hot pink candy plastic, basically. He is really, really nice looking in terms of this translucent plastic. I think the body is really nicely done for him. This is a good body for him. It's agile, it's slim, but it's muscular. So he's not overly beefy, but it's not too small. We've got this kind of frosted look for the whites on him, and I think it's applied well enough. The designs on the shoulders are done nicely as well, clean and crisp. I don't have any real bleeding issues with that stuff. And then you've got the kind of crackling lightning effects that run down his biceps onto his forearms, and I think that's done really nicely as well. It's very clean and crisp, and it very much pops against the color of this plastic. And again, the plastic is really why I was drawn to this figure, and I think it looks really fantastic. It's very saturated and vibrant, especially the legs, because there's nothing on the legs. They're just straight plastic. So you've got some really deep but also bright pink here, and that's still translucent. And of course, certain parts are more translucent, like the abs, where there's actual joint work, and then in the upper thighs. But it all looks really nicely done. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I think he's very much going to pop on your shelf. And honestly, that's really what I wanted out of this guy. Of course, the one thing that's not translucent on this figure is the head sculpt, and it's all done in a metallic paint, except for the white. The white's kind of a flat white. And outside of the fact that it's, it's a goofy design, it's a very comic book design, and I'm perfectly fine with it. It's just kind of weird. I mean, yeah, it's weird. There's not really much more to say about it, but I do think it looks nice. The paint on it is pretty cleanly applied. A little bit of bleeding here and there, but overall it's nicely done. The white is pretty good. I don't have too much issues with, bleeding or kind of any kind of jaggy lines. The metallic paint on it's really nicely done. I really like the metallic pink. It matches, but also kind of clashes with the pink body. And just in general, I think they nailed the design. So I don't have anything to complain about there. In fact, I have really nothing to complain about with this figure at all. The only thing is, again, those little fins. Why are they there? Now, as far as accessories goes, he has two, unless you want to count, of course, the Build-A-Figure piece. And frankly, the Build-A-Figure piece is absolutely massive. He comes with the entire torso for Thanos. This is about as far as I'm ever going to see it. So there it is. It's gone. And we've got the figure with his energy effects. And we've seen these before. So we've had these with like the MCU Thor that came with the Valkyrie 2-pack. And Storm had them. I think Magic comes with one of these too. So they're the kind of new lightning bolt, energy blast, beam effect kind of pieces that wrap around forearms. And I think they look pretty good. I mean, they fit with his color scheme. They're kind of a pearlescent white, which I do like. He doesn't have any, splayed finger hands, so you can't really try to recreate the scene on the back of the package where he's just got his hand out, shooting it out of his fingertips. So you've just got the fists to use. And frankly, if there's a reason why he has those fins, they might be to keep these locked in place, because they really do help to kind of give them something to grab onto. I still think they're a mistake. But they do help. So when you have these on, you really can't even tell that they're there much anymore. And I do like these. I love these energy effects. They are getting to be, maybe overused a bit already, but they definitely fit this figure. And I am very happy that they gave them to us, because honestly, this is one of those kind of figures where they could have just thrown him in a box and given you absolutely nothing. So overall, I really do like this figure. I do just have maybe a couple concerns. The head is definitely a point of contention because he really can't twist his head too far without it looking kind of weird. And then of course you have those fins, which I just don't understand. It does seem like a mistake. Maybe there's some utilitarian reasons for that based on what I can kind of see them using him for with the energy effects. But without them, he looks kind of odd. I know they're really not supposed to be there, right? That's not correct. It just seems like something that was a holdover from Spider-Man 2099 that they just said, you know what, just do it. Throw him in there. People won't care. I don't really care, but it is kind of an oddity. Otherwise, though, I think this is a fun figure. He's got that awesome hot pink translucent plastic that I just absolutely love. He's going to stand out on your shelf. He might not be an A-list figure by any means, but it's a fun toy, and that's what matters here. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Living Laser figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.